Hello everyone, and welcome. I came out here solo again today. We decided we're going to wait for the cabin. We're going to let the snow melt and wait till we can gather up some moss to continue building up the walls. So I came out and I'm cutting up some firewood, doing a little bit of cleanup around here, nothing major. But when I was looking for the links to the gear that I've got and the stoves that I have, I came across another gasifier stove, and I was looking at it just for fun. And as I was scrolling down to see the reviews on that one to see how well it worked, I scrolled past the questions and something caught my eye. The company is Mastiff Gears, and somebody asked where the stove was made. The answer was Mastiff Gears is a Canadian company and they make all their stuff here in Canada. Naturally, I had to pick it up so that I could compare it to the other ones. Now, I didn't bother measuring everything ahead of time. I didn't think of it. So on my way out the door this morning, I grabbed a measuring tape so I could measure it while I'm here. So here I am, all excited, waiting for this stove to come in. Canadian-made stove. I want to try it out. Box comes in. Mastiff Gears. And way down here in fine print, made in China. I did not know that we had a different country out there named China. If you answer the question saying it's made in Canada, kind of hoping it's made in Canada. But let's have a look. Again, it's the same mesh cloth bags that you get with all the other stoves. This one's got a slight difference though. Sorry if I sound a little winded, I just hauled a tree monster out here. It's got a much bigger pan. All the other ones have a small little pan similar to this to use for alcohol. This one actually goes underneath. And it's actually big enough that it just fits inside to catch all the ashes. Well, this time of year, we don't really worry about that too much. But if you're using it in the summertime and you're somewhere where you don't really want to scorch the ground, or you're afraid to catch a fire somewhere, you don't want everything's a little dry, at least you've got that to help protect the ground a little bit. So let's grab the measuring tape. The very base is 5 1/4 inches wide. The burn chamber is the same as the burn chamber on the other one. It's about 3 3/4 by 3 1/2 high. Now this one is different because the top here is your pot supports. It sits on top, but it leaves you with a feed hole so that if you have to add more wood, you can. So The height, including your supports, it's 8 inches up to here. But it seems fairly wide, fairly sturdy. See if I can find a spot here where it's relatively flat. Everything seems to have a little bit of a lean to it, but oh well. Shouldn't be too bad. We can hope. Okay, so let me put the measuring tape away. But yes, once again, it does have the holes. It is a gasifier. It's got the holes around the top. And it's got a gap around the bottom. So let me put the tape away. And I'll load this thing up and see if we can get it going. We've got the chamber full. I gathered up some twigs with a little bit of old man's beard. I'm going to mix in a little bit of jute twine fluff. Just because it's nice and dry and should work out great. While I'm out here, I'm also testing out a new mic. I don't know how well it's going to work. It's a small, cheap, Chinese, no-name lavalier wireless mic. I'm testing to see how strong that clip is going to be and how well it's going to sound. If it has a decent sound and the clip is strong enough, I may keep using it. We will have to see. So far, I put it on when I got here and I just started messing around cutting trees and stuff, and it seems okay. My only problem is it's a little foam piece here above the mic to help block the wind and excess noise. And twice now I've found it inside my shirt because it fell off. So what I'm thinking I might do is when I get home, put a little bit of super glue right around the base of where that foam goes and glue it there permanently. Then I won't have to worry about losing it. That's if it works well enough for me to actually keep it. The only part that worries me is because it's wireless, I have to keep charging the batteries. So it's one more thing that I have to keep an eye on and keep charging while I'm out here. Well, that seems to have worked out well. See if we can get a couple of pieces up here to help hold it in the pot. Ooh, yep, that's warm. Look at that thing go. Don't think we need to worry about that going out anytime soon. So let's put the lid on. Put it so you can see the feed hole. Brought the Odoland cook set this time. Has the tea kettle in it. And I brought it basically because it's the only one that has the frying pan and the right size to cook today's lunch. Let's set that on top. Oh yeah, that rests nicely. Once that water is boiling, I'm going to make some tea. I found this mug at the hardware store. It's fairly cheap. Double walled. Put a bit of tea in there. But I figure there are times where I carry the Stanley cook set strictly for the cups so that I can have a tea. But I find by the time I steep my tea and I'm working around and I get busy doing stuff, I forget about the tea and it gets cold. So when I'm out by myself, I figured I would bring this mug. When Anna's with me, I tend to sit down with her a little bit more and I actually get to drink my tea. But for some reason, when I'm out here by myself, I get all about the work and I just go. So while we're waiting for the tea, I may as well get started cutting this log up. Still can't get over how beautiful that looks. It cuts so nice and flat. The one thing with this saw is you need quite a bit of room. I've got this snowbank there behind me and it's just a bit too close. Just look at that. And with the lid for this mug, it'll stay hot even as it steeps. Let me bring the camera in closer and get you a good look at this gasifying going on. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So here's the plan for lunch. I've got this pan And yeah, it's not ice cream. Brought a little container of margarine, some bread, and some cheese. And we're going to make grilled cheese sandwiches. I don't want to put the pan on there too soon because it'll get too hot. Set that down where I won't kick it. And if you're going to make grilled cheese, you may as well put 2 slices in it. After all, it is supposed to be cheesy. Okay, let's get that pan on there, starting to heat up. With the flames we've got going on there, it shouldn't take very long. There's just a bit of a lean to that stove. Oh yeah, it's already sizzling. A little bit of cheese. Throw on a slice of bread. Put the plastic in that box so that I can pack it back out later. If you can't carry it out, don't bring it in. It's that easy. Wow. Yeah, that gets hot. I have to admit, Anne was not wanting to come out today because she's feeling just a little under the weather. And she had a few things to do at home. And then when she saw me packing up to make grilled cheese out here, I almost had her convinced to come anyway. These are one of her favorites. She loves grilled cheese. But apparently with the heat coming out of that stove, I have to hurry up and get the next one ready. Because they're cooking pretty fast. Okay, come on. There we go. Must get that one out. See what's going on in there. Oh yeah, lots of heat going on in there. Lots of coals. Get this one started. Whew. Oh, that's delicious. Sorry for the extra loud chewing because the mic is right in my face. But look at the gooey, cheesy goodness in there. Okay. I'm going to finish my lunch. And I'm going to get back to work. And once this thing dies out, I did bring a bag of wood pellets to fire it up with the wood pellets to see how well it works. Still lots of heat down in there. But look at how well it burns everything up. By the time it's all done, it'll be nothing but ash. Lunch is done. It was delicious. Now, this tea should be good and steeped. And by having the lid, it should stay hot for quite a while. Okay, that's delicious. Now, it dawned on me while I was eating that when I lit the fire, I was talking about old man's beard, and some of you may not know what it is. So I went and gathered a small piece of it. It's the moss that grows off of dead trees that's very, very stringy and almost looks like fine beard hair. Let me get you a closer look. Now, see, it almost looks like an old man's beard. But when it's dry, it works very well to start a fire. That's all that's left in the bottom. And that's all that got caught in the ashtray. It's cool to the touch on the inside. So here's another baggie of wood pellets, which again I measured for the Ohuhu stove. And it looks like this one fills perfectly with it. Put that with the rest of my trash that I will grab before I leave. We're about to see something that I don't think I've done. And that's use a lighter because I got work to do and I can't play with this fire for too long. I still got a lot of wood to cut before I can leave. It is now 1:45. So I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to go and cut up some more of that wood. And we'll see how long this is going to burn with the wood pellets in it. Beautiful. Okay. Now I got to cut up the rest of that. Okay, water's hot. But look at that flame. Pouring in the water for a second cup of tea. Now, let's see if I can wiggle. There we go. There, now without the lid on, you can see the gasifier in effect. Burning beautifully. There's very little smoke, which is exactly the way it should be. It's now 10 to 3. So that's been burning for an hour. There's still quite a bit of heat right close to the top there. There's still lots of coals in the bottom, so that's not bad. One bag of pellets I can cook on there for about an hour. As long as I boil the water in the beginning, and then towards the end I grill whatever I need grilling, or make toast or whatever. The new mug works great for keeping the tea warm. Oh yeah, that's still hot. Oh, that stove seems to work very well, even if it's not Canadian made. Still quite happy with it. I think that one just replaced the Ohuhu as my favorite stove, as far as the gasifiers go. So at least that one, if I'm using wood with it, I've got a feed hole. That works great instead of having to raise the pan, and every time you take the pan off, you lose a little bit of heat. You got to put the pan back on, let it warm up a little bit again. Not much, but when you're cooking on a small stove like that, sometimes every second counts. Wow. I stripped off my sweater because I was getting warm. Now I think I'm going to strip off this and go down to working in a t-shirt. So far, the little microphone hasn't fallen off. It's holding up well. Hopefully it sounds good. I'll find out when I get home. Oh. But yeah, I'm going to let that finish burning out. And then we'll see if it folds back up properly again or not. Here's hoping. So what I've been doing is, because the last time I was here I got a half decent stock of wood in the cabin. What I'm doing is I'm splitting 2 logs, putting it in the cabin, splitting 2 logs, putting it for the outside fire. Because most of what's under for the outside fire is a little punky and it just doesn't burn nice. So if I have a few pieces that are semi-hard, we should be getting some decent fires out here now. Time to finish my tea and pack up the stove. It's almost starting to snow a little. I don't want it to do that because that'll turn to rain fast. I just checked my thermometer and it's +4 Celsius, which works out to about 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we get too heavy of a snow, that'll turn to rain pretty quick. Oh yeah. Comes apart nice and easy. Flip that upside down. Ash pan goes on top. And right back into the bag. So that folds up nicely. Ooh, the wind's picking up a little bit, cooling down. I may have to put my shirt back on. So far the little mic seems to be holding on tight. So that's great. And the stove works fantastic. A little upset that it's not actually Canadian made. It's the whole reason I bought it, but seeing as it works out a little better than the Ohuhu does and it gives me a feeding hole, I'm not going to cry about it. I actually prefer it that way. But that's going to be it. It's starting to snow just a little bit. I'm going to pack up all my gear and close up the bag. Just keep out whatever I need. And to try and finish up, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 logs left. That's not bad. It's only 20 to 4. So I'm going to try and finish splitting all that and get that covered. And then I'm going to close up and head out of here. Thanks for joining me on this one. Always nice having you along. And we'll see you on the next one.